We're out in the open panel right now. Air America radio host Rachel Maddow, Niger Innes, a political consultant, national spokesman for CORE, the Congress of Racial Equality, and CNN contributor Roland Martin. Roland, I'm going to start with you. Let's play a little bit more from one of Timbaland's songs to get an audience an idea of the kind of language he routinely uses.
All the hoes love a nigga, they be backing it up. But me, I love money, I be stacking it up. When my bandwagon pull up, they hop on board. They hop right on mine and hop right off yours.
All right, so we just heard Senator Clinton's critics bash her for accepting money from Timbaland because what they say is hypocrisy. At the same time, she was attacking Don Imus. Should she give that money back?
Well, I think she should give it back because it's a matter of being honest about it. I mean, Russell Simmons is correct in terms of you accept dirty money left and right. Look, it's not like she had Timbaland in her iPod. I mean, let's just be honest here. If she probably had to explain, somebody had to explain to her technically who Timbaland is. But it's not just that. Sean P. Diddy Combs in the last election was involved in a major Get Out the Vote campaign. And so you have, not only that, how many record executives have given money to Clinton? I also want to know that as well.
All right. Well, we know that Barack Obama's campaign has also taken money from
David
Rap and Ludacris's label. But let's come back to Hillary Clinton's campaign. They will not tell us exactly how much she accepted, nor will they tell us if she really knew the extent of the vulgarity in his lyrics.
I don't think she
cared. Do you
cared.
buy that?
I don't buy it.
Is it a case of not knowing or not caring?
It's a case of not caring. It's a case of let's just make sure that the check clears so I can spend this money for my campaign and my war against Barack Obama. Look, the fact that Roland's dead right. It's more than just these rappers. It is a whole entertainment, I say this again and again, entertainment industrial complex. I mean, you've got these rappers that go across and star in movies. 50 Cent, a former unrepentant drug dealer, is about to play an Iraq war veteran in a movie. Rapper Ice-T, that used to do videos about killing cops, plays a cop and has for 10 years. Hollywood has these guys and are promoting these images of young black men that has a detrimental impact in the black community, a definite, specific impact on young black males and young black females, and that's what we need to be outraged about.
Rachel, you're not going to tell me tonight it's just Obama and Clinton that are guilty of taking so-called dirty money.
Well, no. I mean, your outrage on this is unbelievable to me. The idea that you would be so outraged about Timbaland giving money, but, you know, Exxon giving money and then seeking...
About the industry.
I mean, yeah, the Exxon, I mean, the entertainment industrial complex.
Yes.
I mean, literally, the oil company buying politicians wholesale in order to get what they want in terms of environmental policy and energy policy. Agribusiness buying what they want in terms of food safety going down the toilet in this country. We've got Big Pharma buying the worst healthcare system that's the most profitable system in the world. And what we're upset about is Timbaland.
And you at America, you guys talk about that every day, 5 days a week.
Yeah.
I'm glad now that you're finally, and that media, mainstream media, is finally talking about the entertainment industrial complex. And I hope we hold them to the same standard that we have these big pharma, big oil, all these negative industries.
What do you think Timbaland thinks he's getting for his money? Do you think they're trying to...
Influence and credit and political leverage and power. Absolutely.
Hang on. Let's get Roland jump in here.
Paul, I think also, this is not just about Timbaland. And again, I made the point, and we have to also look at it. How many other record execs, the people who get their bonuses, who are making more money than Timbaland, how much money have they contributed? If you're going to just target the rappers, you also have to target those who are also making their money off it as well. Look, in the last election, Joe Lieberman, in the last election, he was criticizing Hollywood, but they were raising money from the same producers producing violent films. That is the reality of politics. It's not a question of what's right and what's wrong. I do think, though, she's probably going to get some pressure, have to return some of the money, maybe the money directly that came from him as opposed to the entire fundraiser, but she is going to have to stand up. When you criticize Imus, you're going to have to be equally critical of people you accept money from.
She should learn a lesson. She should learn a lesson from her husband, who really came to the fore. His campaign was propelled by criticizing Sister Soldier and Jesse Jackson for having her at his convention.
All right, stay right there.
But my Bill got Timbaland in his iPod.
Save it, Roland, save it. Under intense pressure, I'm going to finally get the name of the network, a place where I work for. Back to tonight's Out in the Open panel, Rachel Maddow, Niger Innes, Roland Martin. All right, we know this was a radio comedy show, a show that routinely made fun of Asian Americans. Why are they going to get suspended now? And why did CBS air this particular program, which people find vile, twice?
Because you guys didn't expose it like you are now. And the fact that you have now, in this era, in this atmosphere that exists, there's no way these guys can survive it. You know.
So you were insulted by this language?
It was a little offensive.
You didn't get the joke. There was no joke.
I didn't get the joke. It was offensive to me. But I have to also say, though, to balance things, I'm a little bit apprehensive about this era that we're in. And I'm a little nervous about when is it going to cross the line to political speech that you don't find that you don't agree with, and when are people going to start protesting that? That's what I'm waiting for.
You got Rachel laughing.
You're the guy who's just screaming about the entertainment industrial complex, and how we need to crack down on people's bad language and music, and now we need to worry about the free speech rights. Now that it's racist speech.
Are you concerned there's a slippery slope here?
Well, listen, I'm a radio host, and I play with this line every single day. It's an occupational hazard of being a radio host. You have free speech rights as a citizen. You do not have a right to be broadcast to America or to any media market. And if your stock in trade, if the way you get ratings and the way you entertain people is by playing with how offensive you can be without getting fired.
Well, that's what these guys have done for years.
That's what these guys have done, and they will get hired by somebody else, and they will get fired from there, and they will get hired by somebody else, and they will get fired from there.
But
that's what this term of radio is.
You're talking about the reality. Do you think that's right, or do you think these guys should just be fired and never be hired again?
Am I disgusted as an American that what we find amusing as a people is utterly mean, viciously nasty humor that puts other people down in a racist and sexist way? Yes. Do I think there are free speech implications for this? No.
All right, Roland, you do a radio show too. Were you insulted by this?
Well, I mean, obviously, first of all, it wasn't that funny, and so they were making fun of them. That's what shock jocks do. That's, I mean, as Michael Harrison said, this is why they get hired. Look, they were suspended because they were stupid. Okay, they were dumb. In this climate, you don't do it. After Janet Jackson or her boob came out, you didn't see anybody acting a fool on the Grammys, any award show, because everybody was on high alert. And then what happens is, everybody calms down, it gets relaxed. You're going to see a time when shock jocks are able to push the envelope to continue to do it. Right now, in the wake of Don Imus, they're not going to be able to do it.
Niger is very concerned about that envelope being pushed and pushed further at the same time as criticism grows, and how ultimately you might get someone to try to censor what people consider offensive political speech.
They already try to do that. They already try to do it, Paul. And the bottom line is, it's a matter of platform, okay? That's the difference. These guys are shock jock. Like I said before, Don Imus was no longer a shock jock. He had crossed the line to more of the establishment kind of guy. That's what you have. We look at entertainment different. When we see Denzel Washington on the screen and he says ho, we don't go, oh my God, Denzel Washington called a woman a ho. No, it's like he was acting. When we see a comedian on stage, we hear a shock jock, we hear a radio talk show host who's in politics.
You know what the problem
People
with that,
understand
Roland?
the different levels. That's the whole key.
But the problem with that, Roland, is that there is now a real thin line between entertainment and politics. You said it. P. Diddy did a Get Out the Vote campaign.
Very true.
People like Russell Simmons used 50 Cent, an unrepentant drug dealer, and Eminem to actually inspire people out to vote. So these guys entertainment actually now leverages political power.
And the lovely lady gets the last word tonight. Rachel Maddow, 10 seconds.
Standards of offensiveness evolve over time. People who play with that line of what's too offensive are playing with fire all the time. It's an occupational hazard.
Niger Ennis, Rachel Maddow, Roland Martin, thanks.